welcome. You're watching Happiest Health. I'm Revati. Today we have a special guest joining us, Dr. Anita Jatana. She's the consultant dietitian at Indraprastha Apollo Hospital in Delhi. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us and taking this time out to answer a few questions that a lot of people have, especially when it comes to nutrition and weight loss. I think it's one of the most searched terms online. My first question is, people have been publishing videos and articles about certain foods that you must eat for weight loss. 5 best foods for weight loss, 5 foods that you should have in the morning for weight loss, etc. What are these foods for weight loss?
I wish there was something as simple as that, a magic bullet. Have those 5 foods and you're sorted, and after that eat all the crap foods through the day. There's nothing like that. They just aid maybe in weight loss, but they are not supported by a lot of science and research. It has to be a well-balanced diet which actually plays a very important role in the long run. It has to be all the micronutrients, the macronutrients in the right proportion, which goes a long way. It has to be a fine balancing act between what you eat and what you exercise, which plays an important role. I think you've just heard with 100 grams, we had Vinesh getting disqualified and how hard they tried for that 100 grams. If that magic bullet was there, she would not have been disqualified. So just having that particular thing, 5 foods, doesn't work that way.
You mentioned about macronutrients. Now, one thing that a lot of people we've seen do is the minute they are targeting weight loss, they cut down on certain aspects of their nutrition. For example, a low carb diet or no carb diet at all. What is the importance of macronutrients in nutrition?
Yes, we've seen over these last couple of decades, the no-fat diet came with some results but had its repercussions. Then we went on a no-carb diet. It became fashionable to say, I'm not taking carbs, I'm not taking cereals. But carbs are also very important because they give you the first important thing, which is energy. So if you don't take carbs and only take your proteins, then those proteins are not being utilized for its actual use. They are still going to go into your energy needs. But having said that, when we say low carbs, we are definitely saying no sugar or very little sugar, and we are calling it the new cocaine. It's very addictive and it's very, very harmful. So, but good carbs with good fibers, taking whole fibers, taking a little part of it from millets is the way forward. And for India, a combination of a cereal and a pulse is very important. So your cereal will be carbs, because the amino acid missing in one gets supplemented from the amino acids from the other. So when you do it as a combination, the proteins gets utilized. Otherwise, if you're just taking your proteins from your dal, and that also comes with a little carb. So you can't do away with the carbs unless you're only a non-vegetarian and then doing fish and vegetables, then maybe. But then also small part of carbs will be there. So these are absolutely fat diets. Maybe a starter to kickstart your weight, but at the end of the day, you need the entire carbohydrates, proteins and fats in the right proportion.
All right. We have sort of established that spot reduction is a myth, and people are still searching for that magic food and magic ways to lose weight quickly. Now, another thing that's come into picture is portion control. People talk about, it's not about what you eat, it's how much you eat, when you eat, etc. What does portion control actually mean? Is it eating less than what we need and what we want? Is it staying hungry? Is it eating too little? What is portion control?
Portion control again is very scientific. What we do is we actually take a person's calorie needs depending on his weight, height, his medical issues, and then divide it into his 3 meals and then do the portion control. For a person who's obese, we definitely tell them, to take less calorie dense foods like salads first, and then portion control the amount of cereals and fats that they take with the protein portion. So it's like make your plate with a little cereal, so that's your portion control and that's your proteins, and at least 50% of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. So that's your portion control. And for a person who's morbidly obese, visuals are also very important. So we teach them the trick of eating in smaller plates so that that mind also accepts that this is my portion control. Portion control is very important and forms part of your daily food intake.
Not just about low carb and no carb diets, there are different other diets like keto diet and different kinds of fasting, etc. Is it possible to ensure proper nutrition with these different kinds of diets, or they're all fads?
A lot of fad diets. I think if you go through Dr. Google, you'll find maybe hundreds of it. But you can't sustain on them. One, it doesn't go into your lifestyle. And if it doesn't go into your lifestyle, you don't keep to it for a very long time. So you lose weight maybe, and they're more about calorie restrictions. Supposing you're doing Atkins diet, if you see non-veg the whole time, you actually get off and say, that's enough for me. So you're actually controlling your food intake, your caloric intake. But at the end of it, you again have to eat in a very, very sustainable way, making sure that all the macronutrients happen. There is a lot of talk about intermittent fasting, which is showing good results. Again, if you see the science behind it, because you're eating only for maybe 8 hours and fasting for 16 hours, you are getting limited time to eat. And obviously you can't stuff yourself up, so you also automatically tend to restrict your food intake. So intermittent fasting is definitely good, but Mediterranean diet is what we actually advocate because it makes sure that all the nutrition happens. Okay. All the rest are fad diets which come and go, and you've seen it happening over these years.
Are supplements good for weight loss? Do you recommend it?
No, not unless they are really doing weight training. And you've seen a lot of maybe write-ups in the newspaper, maybe a couple of patients who were on a very, very high protein diet and it affected his kidneys. So supplements only if we find that the person is not able to consume what we are planning to give him or wanting to advise. So then for a short period of time. And for in hospital setup, we use it a lot because the food intake is poor, the requirements are higher. But for a general layman, we have to assess from person to person.
My last question is, it is one concern that most people have, you go on this diet or exercise regime and make sure you attain that weight loss that you're actually looking at, but it is not consistent, it does not stay. You immediately go back to your previous weight after a certain point of time. How does one go about maintaining their weight loss journey and maintaining their ideal weight, the weight that they think is ideal?
That's the most difficult question. It's a real challenge. The yo-yo effect is there, and it's genetic, it's environment, it's a lot of hormones which play ghrelin, leptin. So if I get into the medical aspect, so the moment you lose weight, your body actually slows down more. So your basal metabolic rate is actually slowing. So your requirements go even less than what you were. So after a time, supposing, just to give an idea, if I said you were taking a 1,000-calorie diet and with a certain activity program, after that it stops showing results because your body has now slowed down more. So you need to bring up your activity level more and then monitor your food intake. And this yo-yo effect of losing and gaining is very, very harmful. So it has to be actually a diet plan which fits into your schedule. There's no point telling a hustler, eat this, because you're not going to get it. So I have to tailor make my diet according to her availability and yet teach her, okay, these are your good combinations and good choices.
Thank you so much for speaking to us and giving all that information.
Thank you.